Hello everyone, welcome to Mitsumaru City. I'm Mitsumaru, and in my last video I built this wonderful Starbucks fully kitted out with everything, including maple trees. Today I'm going to build a florist. That's a nice little flower shop just off the lake near the Starbucks as well. It's going to be beautiful and slightly raised off the ground. So to start the build, I'm putting in a little side road which is going to act as an access point to the florists. At the back there, I'm going to put in a railing so nobody falls off the edge, and I'm also going to put the road markings in, which is very easy. The Yuushya Mod comes with hundreds of different blocks, and that's what I focus in my builds, to be honest. Here is the mod list that I use for my city. The other major mods that I focus on are the Cocricot mods for the furniture and flowers, and also Axiom mod for copying and pasting roads. Once the little side street's in, I'm going to add a bike and a couple of composters. Add some little grown bits of wheat in there and it looks lovely. I'll also have a no entryway here. That's so you can only get in if you're a worker, I guess. The blocks that I'm using to make this flower shop are andesite bricks. And with the Yuushya Mod, they're textured to be quite nice, I think. This shop is going to be divided into two halves. Why not? I'm also going to have a little connecting bridge to connect the two buildings. The building on the right is going to be much smaller than the building on the left. The reason for that is this is more of a showroom. You can see the kind of flowers that you want to buy for your weddings or your daily needs. The flooring is going to be this oak blind wall. I quite like the look of it. It looks really clean and fresh. The area I'm just digging out there is going to be made of planks. That's for the cash register area. For the main walls in the building, I'm using andesite walls, not the blocks. It's a peculiar idea of mine. It doesn't work entirely because the doors don't go in properly, but I do figure out how to fix that eventually. It's not too much of an issue. I just have to put in a few more bricks. Now I'm going to start work on putting in the walls on the other building as well. It's 4 in height, that way you've got a nice space to see the ceiling and it doesn't feel so cramped and small. For the doors, I originally chose these ones from the Cocricot mod. They're quite nice, but you know, I've got oak flooring and I think the Yuushya oak doors feel a little bit more natural to the build. For the ceiling, I'm just going to use the blocks. I'm not going to mess with the walls anymore because it does get rather difficult to deal with. I used the Axiom mod real quick, as you just saw, to paste in the floor because I don't want to have to sit there and do all the oak planks forever. Now comes the painful process of dealing with the roof. Luckily for me, the Macaws mod has a very nice roof pack, and I do use that for some of the roofs. I don't use Yuushya Mod for everything, I also use a few others. And all of the Macaws mods actually come together as a suite, so I like to use those all together, and the roofs are absolutely brilliant for this. Simply because I can match it up with the andesite, I don't have to have a different style of roof. I like this, it's like an old church type building. What I like to do with the roof is have it nested. I don't like to have a perfectly triangle roof every single time. You've got to have a quirky roof because that way it's an interesting architectural feature. And people from all over Mitsumaru City will come here to buy their flowers, and they will also remember how fantastic the architecture is. You're welcome to subscribe and leave a comment as well about how you feel about this roof. I find it to be quite interesting. Roofs can be rather tetchy, can be rather painful to build, can't they? But if you have fun doing it and you make it a little bit different, sometimes mistakes can pay off. That's how I feel about the roof building process. It's just lots and lots of little mistakes that look good. It seems that way anyway. You see those bits there? It's missing andesite, so I just fill it in like that, no issue. I'm using red wool as guide blocks, and I've got a nice interesting attic space there. I don't really know what I want to use in there yet, but later I do figure out that it's an extra storage space for the shop. Above the second building, I'm not going to have anything fancy, just square it off like that, nice and triangle. To access the attic, I'm going to have this little balcony space here with a door. It's a very interesting and quirky design because that's what I'm going for. And there's a nice little window port there. I think it's looking like a really nice design, to be honest with you. At the top of the second building, I'm going to have a small balcony space, a rest area for the staff, I guess, and I'm also going to change the windows. Again, I like the Cocricot windows, but in this build it's oak, so why not have oak windows? See, I'm having a little bit of trouble now because I've used walls like a clever clogs, when actually it's very difficult to put the windows in because they don't sit in the wall. If you turn everything into entities, it actually makes the windows opaque, so you're better off putting in a few more bricks like that look. It does look good. The architecture does look okay like that. A few walls and a few blocks. It looks neat as I go all the way around. Now I'm going to add some cars to the little side alleyway. I guess there's going to be a few staff members here. It looks great like that. Doesn't the bridge look fantastic between the two? At night, I just check the lights real quick, make sure it's nicely bright and lit up, And then I can start working on the next bit of the project, which is probably going to be framing the windows. Nope, I'm wrong. Looks like I'm going to be building the balcony space with a simple orange table and a nice little orange umbrella that goes on the top. That's the rest place for the worker. Although I'm wondering how they get up there, to be honest. I'll figure that out later on as I carry on. There's going to be a nice little breakfast, a little lamp, and a drink. Doesn't that look like a fantastic place to have a rest when you're working in the flower shop? I would like to work here, doesn't it look brilliant? On the buildings, I'm going to hang in loads of little baskets as well. And I'm going to put in this sign. In Chinese, it says Jianghu, which means rivers or lakes. And it's next to a lake, so why not? I like that. I go around the whole building, adding flower pots and little details that look cool. Now I start framing the windows. You see how it's got that oak frame on it? I like that. It does look very interesting and very fresh. I also add blinds to the windows. Make sure it's nice and decent. You could actually have this as a house, to be honest. I put in that frame at the top, but it doesn't look quite right. So I shift it down with the GUI tool, but then I realized, no, wait, it does look cool. It's got like a little Japanese type style gate thing, like a shrine. Around the side of the shop, I'm also going to have this little table. And on that table, it's going to have a bunch of flowers because now I've got to start decorating it with the things the shop is selling. So in order to sell things, you need a QR code, don't you? I put it on the floor and then just shift it up with the GUI tool. That looks great. So what I'm going to start doing now is working on a couple of trolleys on the outside. This trolley is going to have some bamboo and a little plant in a white pot. I'm also going to have another trolley here. I put some cobblestones underneath. I shift the trolley across and do the same thing. Bamboos and a little plant. That looks great. Next to that, I'm probably going to have one more little table. So I decorate the area with a few more plants and then stick in a really big table to have plants on it. Lots of different designs, all different kinds of things available on the Yuushya Mod. I think their plants are the best actually, but some of the Cockrycot mod plants will make an appearance soon. But for now, I'm going to start working on the little shop. Inside here, I put in a few composters and some simple shelves. Lots of lavender, keep it nice and purple, it does look good. I put some purple hanging baskets on the front of the shop, but I don't like those, I'll change those later. Inside the shop, I'm going to add cactus, which is from the Cockrycot mod, a few different plants, bags, all kinds of things plant related. I also want to have a couple of hanging baskets in the window. So I put those on the shelf look like this, and then you can actually ship them across with the gourd and the GUI tool. Put in a few notes, it does look really good. I don't know why there's a cake sign in here. I guess you can buy cakes, maybe at the Starbucks. And now I'm going to put some things underneath. What I want to have first is a couple of lights and a little fan, because it's going to get hot in there, isn't it, with all the plants. Have a little AC machine and the thing on the outside, and then I'm going to put this composter tilted to the side with some dirt inside. It's actually easy to do, and I'm going to show you how you do it. So first you put the composter in, turn it into an entity with a GUI tool, rotate it using the Z-axis so it's a little bit tilted, scale it down so it can fit under the shelf, and shift it across. Move it down a little bit. It doesn't matter that it's clipping, because now I'm going to add soil. You see how the soil's in my offhand? You can add it, scale it down. It's like a lump of dirt for flowers. Stick it in there like that, and then add another one. Do the same thing, scale it down, shift it across with the X-axis, maybe bring it down a bit, rotate it a little bit so it looks like natural dirt sitting in there, and then maybe I'll have one more. So I'm just going to shift that across. Yep, that looks okay, slightly offset. Add another one, scale that one down, also put that in here like that, rotate it a little bit more, and then bring that down, and I've got a compost box filled with soil. I'm also going to have lots of little bags and boxes. I guess there's going to be plant things in there. Here you can see there's going to be some space for a few more plants. A big bamboo sitting in there, and maybe a mop. Yeah, why not? It's got to be clean, hasn't it? It can't have a mess all the time. Underneath the shelves here, I'm going to put in a few more boxes. Nothing too fancy. I don't want to have too much complex stuff under there, like those composters. It takes a while. Have a little cat sitting there. Doesn't that look absolutely lovely? Around the side of the building, I'm going to have some grown wheat. I like how the petals are falling down from that tree. You can get that with a leaf spawner from the Yuushya Mod. Looks great. Now I'm going to put some vines on the whole building. Make sure it comes alive a little bit with hanging ceiling vines like that, just coming off the side. This looks like a wonderful little flower shop, doesn't it? Going to have a few vines up there, make it look absolutely perfect. I'm very happy with this build. So now I'm going to start working on the inside of the big shop. This has got to have the cash register area for the worker. Make sure I decorate it with a few gifts. Make a few half slabs as well, stick those on the side here, shift them into the wall a bit and put little gifts there. I don't know what they are, seeds maybe? Yeah, why not? I'll put some plants up there, look, make sure they're okay, and then put in a little shelving unit with a few more plants on top. That looks good. I actually missed out on putting the stairs in this building because we don't have access to the attic yet, but I'll get to that. I'm also going to have some magazines, a few carpets, plants everywhere in this place. It's all for sale in the plant shop. That's right, it's a wonderful little florist. I make sure to decorate the whole ceiling area with a few of these hanging things, put in a few hanging baskets, make sure it looks like a lovely place, inviting and fresh. Don't forget the lights because it will get dark at night, and also some fans and an AC unit. I always make sure to have the AC unit on the inside and then the electric box thing on the outside. Stick in a few more half slabs here, and then random flowers and gift boxes that I find from the Yuushya Mod. This is looking like a really good plant shop, isn't it? Make sure that I put lots of different details here, including radiators, because, you know, in winter I don't want it to get cold, so I've got to think of these things. Plenty of different choices, cactus, little other things. I don't really know the names of the flowers, I'm just putting them in. They do look good. Ferns over there, these pink ones. I'll also stick in some red and yellow tulips on the window there. It's looking very vibrant, so what I need to start doing now is putting in boxes underneath the shelves. For the boxes under the shelves, I'm just choosing random packages that you can find on the Yuushya Mod, because everything is using that mod, really, is the main focus. I also put in a couple of trunks because maybe you want to buy a block of wood for some reason. I'll also add a few more tilted composters that I basically copied and pasted from the other building. It's a very simple thing to do. I also want to have a couple of buckets because, you know, when you're building these flower things, you also want to have buckets of grass or something. A few flowers on the outside, and a little welcome mat that says coquelicot. Okay, yeah, fine, it is coquelicot a little bit. I'm also going to have a few more packages underneath here, and that's pretty much the inside of the flower shop complete. Don't forget to have a few notes at the little cash register area. It looks wonderful now, nice and vibrant and inviting. I like the oak planks, they look great. You know what I missed? Access to the attic. So what I'm going to do is have this little staircase leading onto the street. To make sure it's safe, I'm going to put in trapdoors all the way along here, look like this, and then stick in some blocks so then I can have more little trapdoors. Now I can access the attic space, which I'm going to decorate to have as a sort of storage room for random junk that the people don't need in the flower shop. I guess some of these things are the old products, things they don't really need. I don't really know. Seeds, extra supplies, a few safes up there. Yeah, you could have the money up there, couldn't you? A couple of plants because people use this also as a restroom. A little gramophone, some slippers, all these different little things that you'd have in sort of a non-zone. I'll put in a few little bits of grown wheat, a little carpet, and a simple chair. A lot of boxes and little stools and things. If they want to decorate the store in a different way, perfect, why not? Let's go in, look. I also added a few mice. The mice are available from the Coquelicot mod. No one ever comes in here, so it's going to be infested with stuff. Doesn't that little shop look lovely? If you've liked this build, subscribe. I'm Ixicol. Welcome to Mitsumaru City and my fantastic little flower shop. I think it looks great just sitting on the side of the lake there near the Starbucks. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time in Mitsumaru City.